Our sponsors for this episode are Hall's Tree Service. Locally owned and operated, Hall's Tree Service has been exceeding and surpassing customer demands in Newton and the surrounding area for over 40 years. Larry and his crew are guaranteed to work hard for you. There's no tree too tall, no job too small. Call Hall's at 316-772-1919. Absolute drain. Look, no one, and I mean no one, likes it when their sink, bathtub, washing machine, or especially their toilets start backing up. It's even worse when they won't drain or flush at all. No matter who you are, it happens to us all. If this is happening to you, then you need to give Garth with Absolute Drain a call. Absolute Drain is located at 420 West Broadway in Newton and has been faithfully serving Newton and surrounding areas for longer than I can even remember. I personally use Absolute Drain, and they have kept my pipes cleaned out and flowing day one. It might just be time for you to give them a call too at 316-283-7264. The Newton Kansan is Newton's longest-running local newspaper covering all the stories, people, places, and things happening in our community. Chad Fry, the Kansan guy, editor of the Kansan, works diligently to ensure integrity, accuracy, and unbiased news is delivered to your doorstep 3 times a week for an unbeatable price. You can also sign up for online-only access for around $7 a month. That's 12 online papers a month for only $7. If you've not subscribed, it's time you do. Visit them in their office at 517 North Main Street. That's 517 North Main Street in Newton. Online at thekansan.com. That's thekansan.com. Or give them a call at 316-283-1500. That's 316-283-1500. Support local journalism, support the Kansan. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this HCTalk podcast. As always, I'm your host, Lance Gormley, and my 2 co-partners in crime, brothers from another mother, are Andy Ortiz, local entrepreneur and businessman, and Chad Fry, as we affectionately know as the Kansan guy.
Yeah.
How are you both doing this week?
Doing okay.
Doing okay. Just an okay. And Andy, how?
Freaking fantastic.
Fantastic. And I'll bridge the gap between the two. I'm just here. Is that okay?
That is okay.
Being here is better than being okay or not okay, and it's not quite fantastic, so we'll go with that. How about that?
No, I had a guy once tell me, because of the environment we were in, one of the best things you can say when things are tough is, how are you doing? I'm unbelievable.
Yeah, because that could be taken about any different
like,
direction.
Unbelievably bad or unbelievably good, but it's unbelievable. But the tenure or the temperament of it is, hey, it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
But it's like, no, dude, it's unbelievable.
Right. Hey, and then let's go here,
Well,
okay?
in that case, I'm freaking awesome.
Let's go here. Okay, I'm going right straight to the punch. Andy and I were having a conversation the other day, and I was really just kind of expressing my thoughts and my heart and what's going on in my life, and just I would call it maturing, right? Like if you're never challenge yourself to be better than when you were yesterday, you're stagnant, right? You have to, in my opinion, to be a better person, which should be my opinion, once again, everybody's goal, you have to do some self-reflection, right? You have to have a little bit of internal monologue, to be able to say, where am I at today? Where do I want to go tomorrow? What am I doing? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Is there ways that I can improve, et cetera, et cetera? Okay, so with that being said, I guess the first thing that came to my mind right then and there, just to go totally out in left field, is if you're somebody how often has this happened to you guys? Where somebody's like, how you doing today? And you're like, I'm not really doing that good. Good.
You'd be amazed how many people are, when they ask that question, they're not really
looking for
listening, and they're not really looking for an answer.
Right. Yes, which leads me to this, Chad, okay?
Right. You just, I dare you, spend one day, every person you meet that says, hey, how you doing? Oh, not worth a crap. I dare you.
It takes them back.
I dare you, because I've done it. And I usually give an honest answer to that. How you doing?
And how many people run from that?
You'd be amazed. You can tell who your friends are by the end of the day. I'll tell you that.
That is where I want to go, okay? We're going to left field here real quick, okay, before we get on with what's going on in the Kansas and the other topics that we have. We might go just a little bit long today because the topics they kind of mesh together, but at the same time, they're individual. So just trying to go full circle here. How many people in your life actually are your friends? How many people in your life are truly invested in you? In this world of social media, okay, where we've got thousands of Facebook friends, or at one point in time I was up to 2,500 Facebook friends, right? And I made a life choice that said, I'm trying to, even though we do this and I have to be on social media, was like, I'm having this belief and understanding and maturing that I want real, tangible, physical, interpersonal relationships with people, and I don't have time for a lot of other relationships, right? So then just throwing it out to you guys, I probably could count my close friends on one hand. Both of you are included in that. And people that I suppose I could get to 10. I could probably get to 10. But other than that, if you really sit back and ask the question, of those 10 people, if they all asked you, how are you doing? You said, man, I'm really kind of on rough times, or whatever. You have a real moment, a real personal moment, because we all have struggles in our life. Nobody's doesn't have struggles, right? Going there. Okay. So we know that there's times where we would like to talk to somebody. So in that situation, how many people in your guys' life do you really think have an invested interest in you? And if you said, man, I'm struggling right now, would actually sit with you in that struggle and either offer advice or help or counsel or whatever it is. What do you guys think?
Everybody has different systems. I mean,
yep.
And I'm very blessed. So, I mean, I have business partners that were friends first. I have business partners that became friends after doing business together after a long period of time. So it was very transactional. Then it became a transformational type relationship when I realized or chose to value their time because they had things in them that I was attracted to, right? So I sought that relationship by bringing them a ton of value as much as I could, not demanding anything, but hoping that I could get a little spill off from their life experiences because I respect how they live their lives.
Right.
And I've been very blessed and fortunate to come across people, old coaches that I consider my friends today. I had one call me yesterday that recruited me to come to Bethel College, and we had about a 30-minute conversation on the phone, and I talked to him maybe once a month, and he just random called me, and he stood in my wedding, right? He is a guy, is a champion in my life, and I have these people like that sprinkled across my life that have just taken an interest in me and helped me build, and those are the relationships I hold on to. And I mean, honestly, I can call most people that I've worked with for a specific type of advice. So like if I have tax information advice or advice on how I should be structuring something within a company, I'll have two or three calls that I'll make. And like Rod Cry would be one of them that I've met over the last 12 years. And I say that because he's moving and I'll miss having him close because there's times I would run and meet him in his basement for 20 minutes in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
Right. And respect his 20 minutes, but then I'd run out because I know he's doing other things too. But I could pepper him with questions on team stuff, team dynamics. How would you see this? Now, did I take that one and only his advice? No, I'd go to two others that kind of are an offset to him. And I would get a flavor for all three of their techniques and their suggestions. And if I heard a common theme between them, I would hold on to that and internalize that. And then I would deploy it to the best of my ability. Then I would ask them for advice on how I did it after. So I built these relationships. So I can't really say any one person. I will tell you, I'll say the names out loud locally here. If Andy Harder calls me, I'm in the car right now in the middle of this podcast, and I'm sorry. But if he calls me, I'm going. I believe if I was in a pinch, he would crawl through glass to get to me. Clinton McBroom, if he calls me, I'm going right now. We don't see each other all the time. We don't owe each other anything. But he's a person that when I'm in a pinch and I was in Mexico doing some stuff, I called him. He was in my house taking care of my family within 15 minutes of that phone call. Called me back and was already done helping my family through a situation here when I was out of the country. First phone call, he was taking off, putting on his boots before we got off the phone. I mean, and then I have one of my best friends and business partners, and I'm not comfortable saying his name out in public for a lot of reasons, but that guy's family is my family. His kids, I will protect like my kids. So, and I know where they all live. And if any one of them called me, I'm on the way. If I'm closer than dad, call me first.
Right.
You know? So I have those relationships. It's not a lot of them, but there's different layers of those relationships, right? The Rod Cry is not like, he calls me right now, I'm taking off. I would if I could and figure it out and what do you need, but he wouldn't call me in that situation. Right. He has other people too. Right. But he's in that tier. So I have a outer tier, a middle tier, and a real close tier. And the real close tier, it's not very many people. Right. And it's not because I don't love people or any of that. It's just, you got to prioritize. And frankly, I'm in a growth season right now myself. I'm in another transition. We're building another company that I'm really excited about building over the next 5 years. And it takes everything I got. And then to keep running what I've been blessed with and then build something on top of that.
Takes a lot of time.
And you got to be real narrow focused. And, the people that I love know that. And the people that love me, I know that. And we don't ask for too much in between other than when you have time, let's make time.
Right.
So,
right.
And one of the other things, I'm so spoiled. One of my favorite people in the world, besides my mom and my aunt, live across the street.
Right.
And that's how blessed my life is, because I can run over there in the evening and have a coffee with her or see her on the weekend, and my nephew and niece, and they are literally, you could see their house from here, right? And I keep the people that I have close. So, and they like to stay close because they know I got their backs.
Yeah.
So,
Chad, what do you think, man?
My number is incredibly small. I'm not being hyperbolic. It's very, very small. And that's the result of a number of things. Number one, I'm a natural born introvert. Number two, I completely uprooted my life like 3 times. And the last one was when I moved to this town, which was 30 years ago. It was 30 years ago, almost 30. Yeah, I'm that old. And so when you're a natural born introvert and then you completely uproot your life, making friends is hard to start with. And then when your social circle just completely falls apart because people move away, they get a job, they're gone, they die. Now you're back to square one. And, my wife made a statement to me a few months ago. She's been feeling like when I'm home, I'm not home.
Right.
She's been feeling like I'm not really engaged. And she's right. But when she was talking, she goes, this is what she said. She goes, I get it though. Because you've run so hard and poured out so much of yourself through your just day. At the end of your day, and sometimes the end of my day is like 4 o'clock when I'm picking up kids. By the end of your day, there's nothing. There's nothing left of you.
I got a question about that.
So that's where I'm at. And so when you start asking, how many I call them knucklehead friends I've got, it's an insanely small number. And when I got a really cool piece of good news on Monday night, I sent texts to those people. And by the time the night was done, I, outside of my family, had only texted about 4 people.
Right. And I got a question for the audience especially, and for both of you guys, or I guess I can say this this is why I was thinking why I brought this up and asked these questions to you guys or whatever. And it's how many relationships do you have that are just merely transactional? And that's what I would call peripheral relationships, right? And then what is the cause of that? There's many statistics that come out, right, that are talking about how, I think it's Gen Z, 60% of Gen Z relationships are based on a telecommunications device 90% of the time, right? So we're all old enough to remember a world in which if you'd have to pick up the phone at your house to call somebody else at their house, if they happen to be there, then you could talk to them. Otherwise, it was more of a face-to-face, interpersonal, physical relationship that you had with people. And then on top of it, with the way our society is going, which is just asking more and more and more and more and more from us, then there's so many people, I'm sure, that by the time they get up, if they can take care of the kids before they get to work or have a little bit of time there, that everybody gets off to doing what they need to do, that then get home. And if you're lucky enough to sit down and have supper together, you get that time. But otherwise, you're gearing up for the next day, or you've got all these things that are going on in your life that require your time and attention. How many people actually have time to really build relationships outside of their family, minus a small group of people? And I think that's a product of it. But just ask yourself this question: how many of my relationships are transactional, just transactional? And do I really have a relationship with this person in the traditional form of doing that? Or is it something that I have that gives me the semblance or belief that there's a relationship, but it's lacking actual intimate relationship with that person? So, okay, Chad, and this could move us on to one of the topics I wanted to talk about, but I want to give Chad the floor to be able to talk about what's going on in the Can Center locally that he'd like to discuss before we move on to something that is similar to what we just talked about. Chad, what do you got?
Got some bullet points and then a story that I didn't write that we're republishing that just has me shaking my head. So, like this week, quite honestly, pretty much every meeting was just kind of light, which is fine. I needed that. But, the county they retained a bond counsel because they're probably going to, they're going to have to issue bonds to do their courthouse renovation, and they're inching ever closer to getting that project going. And of course, I kind of try and fill people in on the history of how we got here, why we're here. We're out of courtrooms. That was the domino that went doop and just started things down the roads.
Which was out of the county's control. It's not like the county just decided, hey, we need more courtrooms. The state of Kansas decided that.
The state of Kansas decided that we needed a fourth judge, and that means we need a fourth courtroom
To be in compliance.
Yeah.
Yep. Makes sense.
That's just the long and short of it,
So
know.
stay
And
tuned
so
for that, right?
So when you're creating courtrooms, that means there's other people that got to move. Well, there was no place to move within the courthouse, so that's why they bought the building on Pine Street and moved. Oh man, I had the number in my head.
Well, the county appraised
60,000 square feet of office space got moved.
What about the property next door
Which one?
to the courthouse?
Which one?
The old River Point Church property.
I was thinking that the other day when I drove by there.
There's a whole property right there next door.
Right
like
across the
literally
street.
right there next door.
And there's a lot of square footage there, too.
Transportation,
Well,
you
at
still
that-
got the jail right there
at
for
the-
support.
Handicap
You've
accessible.
got everything is
At the
there.
time they were making their
Parking
moves.
is an issue.
Yep.
Well,
at the,
parking's an issue at the courthouse anyway.
yeah,
True that.
and it always will be.
You're gonna
It
take out that
always
front
will
lawn
be.
and put parking in there.
I agree.
Unfortunately,
I agree, but I did mention that when I was asking about when I was doing my bid for the county, just trying to get as much information as possible. And I don't know. I think they call them laterals underneath there for the heating and air conditioning of the actual building.
Yes.
So if you go and you pave over that, and then there's an issue in the future, then you're going to have to be digging up the concrete to get underground to be able to take care of those things.
Well, you do an analysis on how much time, how long that might be. And
Right.
I mean, these aren't, people do this all the time,
Yep.
all across the world.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's that, right? The other thing the county did was they bought about $40,000 of technology and computer equipment for 911 dispatch. And you can decide for yourself how you feel about that, but I'm going to tell you, man, that's one office I want to make sure is running smooth and clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we need it, we need it.
And great people. Like, remember, I had a podcast with Don Groover out here, and he
Yes.
really explained, they really are the first responders. I mean,
Yes.
in every way, shape, or form. And all of them are, when technology exists to make sure that from the time that somebody makes a phone call in an emergency that needs whatever kind of assistance, that they can get that assistance there faster, I'm all for it.
So,
I'm all for it.
Yep. I know he no longer works at dispatch, but I know a person who worked at dispatch for a very long time, and he delivered babies over the phone. Think about that, man.
Get out your manual, buddy.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So, and I might have this a little off, but my brain is telling me that he actually had somebody tie an umbilical cord off with a phone charger cord. I mean, you got to be resourceful.
Right.
You're in a situation.
What do you got?
So, yeah.
Everybody's got a phone. There's got
That's
to be a phone
right.
charger around here somewhere. Pretty close, probably, to where the person's at.
And I did dig into City Commission's extension of contract this week. They've extended the contract with Kemper Sports to manage Sand Creek Station. And, that's probably a good agreement when you go back and you take a look at what
They're doing a hell of a job.
what's been, and we're coming up on the 20-year anniversary of the golf course.
Isn't it amazing to think it's been that long?
That is crazy.
That's how fast time goes. When we talk about these tax abatements that everybody seems to get confused and not understand.
The new golf course.
Yeah, look at. Well, that was 20 years ago, and it has done everything it's supposed to do and some.
At this point,
So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Took a
Absolutely.
little bit of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's still some housing slots available out there. And, everybody was kind of hoping they'd be filled by now, but they'll fill when they fill.
Yeah.
Well, things are moving.
And when you look back and realize we've had 2 USGA tournaments here, PGA tournaments here. Oh my goodness gracious. 2
And
in
people
20
love
in
it.
20 years.
Yeah. People love that course.
People love it.
I'm
It's
telling you
one
what,
of the-
that is
I mean,
not happening.
And I'm not going to mince words here. Honestly, in the state of Kansas, Sand Creek Station is one of the most badass and
It is
highly ranked.
consistently across
public golf
any and
course.
all categories. Across any and all categories, it is consistently ranked in the top 5.
Yeah.
And for public courses, it's one of the 2 best.
And the key is
in every
public
category,
course.
folks.
That's
Public course. Anybody can show up, pay.
Oh, and by the way,
play.
one of those categories is profit. They're doing great. So
Right.
right. Yeah. So that happened so we got county, we got city, Board of Education. They're gonna start marketing their bonds like tomorrow, I think, and so there was a lot of deeply technical stuff that was going on at the Board of Education meeting on Monday night. I really tried to explain everything. It sounds weird when you're talking about bond issues and that there's these coupons involved and what that means, because this is not a coupon that you clip and take to the grocery store. But
QR code, bleep.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Just QR it.
Yeah.
We can just,
It's weird. It's just so, the whole thing weird.
I think a lot of people just
But-
underestimate the technical aspect of a lot of what goes on in government. I mean, it's very
But
over your head
it's-
oftentimes. It
What really
is.
drew me to that conversation was Mr. Sjogren and his explanation of how the conflict in Iran is going to affect our school district when it issues its bonds.
Oh yeah. Did you see what's going on with the market?
Oh, it's nuts.
Up and down.
Well, when you make a call and people can trade overnight when most people don't have access to that, and all of a sudden it goes back up, you need to pay attention to who's getting gains from that are in our government.
There's a lot of Congress people that made a lot of money.
Damn straight. They did overnight.
Yes.
That's not okay, people. Wake up.
Okay. We're going to get into some of this.
So that's
you guys are hitting around some topics that we want to talk about.
And the one that has me shaking my head this morning that we didn't write, but I decided to publish is there was debate in the Kansas legislature, and a dude brought out an amendment to a bill that would prohibit all schools, both public and private, from hosting athletic events on Sunday and on a series of religious holidays and the 4th of July. And most of those, the prohibition is for 6 o'clock p.m. and after. Well, when do we play sports? We play them in the evening.
Yeah.
Oh, and Wednesday nights. No more Wednesday night sports. That was the amendment. It got kind of beat up and thrown out.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, as it should.
I figure it would.
And I'm a church-going dude, okay? But there are things that the legislature should not be putting their toe into and meddling with. And they've been doing more than their fair share of that pretty much every session.
Well, this legislative session is a little interesting. Is that everything you got with the Kansas, Chad? Because I got...
that's what I got for now.
This is a good precursor to what we're going into. I would say I try to watch pretty regularly what's going on at the legislature, and I'm just going to brush over this real fast. I think that it's a horrible bill and decision to try to limit youth through K through 12 to choose to protest. I think that's a huge violation of First Amendment, right? I don't think if it needs to be tailored in a way to say that schools don't sanction this, like there's no school sanctioned walkout protest, and that there's these consequences similar to what would happen if you decided you wanted to leave school for whatever reason. I can understand that, but I want to say that I do have to commend the legislature, and I know this has ruffled a lot of feathers on the what is now law, the bell-to-bell ban on cell phones. We've talked about this in the past. We started the conversation that's kind of interesting parallel to this about relationships and attention and where our world is at right now. I'm pretty supportive of the fact that, you know, if we are in the society that we are currently, something has to mitigate this, because I think it's gone way farther than what we ever expected. And in many instances, I do believe that government's role is to step in and say, okay, look, we're going to take care of this issue. This is not going to be a case-by-case basis. We've just decided bell-to-bell ban. What do you guys think on that? And I know we've had our thoughts on here before, so I don't know if there's anything more to say about that, but thoughts?
I have a lot of mixed emotions. And when they get mixed is when I put my parent hat on. But I'm also the parent that has gotten phones for my kids that are pretty restricted. So there's another bill that they're working that would require... What is it? I know parental oversight is required for kids to download apps. My kids' phones are already set that way, guy. I mean, so that's why when you start talking about no phones during school, I got real mixed emotions, because there's a part of me that's like, well, what if it's an emergency? Okay?
I feel that.
There's a part of me that's there. But then my other hat comes in and be like, Well, what emergency are we talking about? Are we talking about a school shooter? Because I'm going to be straight. I do not want our 911 dispatch center to be completely overloaded with all the phone calls from all the kids over at the high school. And that's exactly what's going to happen. It happened during the XL shootings.
Yeah. Well, it also happened here recently.
We had calls that were rolling over to other counties.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so let's talk about what emergencies you think your kid needs to have a phone for, right? Because they need a ride home from school. Well, guess what? They can turn it on at the bell and they can call you.
Yeah. Or and here's this, just going here. I don't know of any time, and I may be wrong, that if my child or your kiddo or a student needed to go call their parent, why wouldn't they be able to go down to the office and say, I need to call my parent?
Well, and if they're feeling sick, they need to go see the nurse, and the nurse is going to call you.
Right.
I mean, that's just how all this stuff works. I don't fully comprehend. I don't think I'll ever fully comprehend the motivation of the legislature for crafting that bill. But anyway, I'm mixed, but I'm really kind of leaning towards patting him on the back.
Right.
Because I just question how much a kid really needs a cell phone. And by the way, I'm a parent. I got 3 of them.
Yeah. So it's not like you're,
So I'm not sitting here.
I mean, we're all parents Andy too. We're all parents that have kids in school, and yeah, I mean, God forbid there be a situation where my child needed to get a hold of me and was unable to get a hold of me, but at the same time, like weighing it, I look at it and say, okay, so how many instances to date has my youth needed to get a hold of me utilizing their cell phone, either through text or calling me, and what it was about? And if there'd be another means, and God forbid something, like you said, something happened, where we really need that. I think the negatives of them having cell phones throughout the day presents much more of a problem than the reverse.
So the libertarian in me says, stop it. The Democrat side of me says, how does that make the kid feel? Are we empowering them? Are we training and teaching them to be self-sufficient? And then the rational, data-driven Republican side of me says, those phones are horrible. They're hurting our kids. There's predators that are attacking them through it. We've trained them, and we are training them to dehumanize each other through it. And it doesn't do any good. And how, as a society, were we so focused and doing so well for so long? I don't think it's a big secret that if you look at when kids started getting cell phones, scores and academic scores and attention span started dropping.
Oh, yeah.
And mental health issue is climbing. And it's starting there. And you read The Anxious Generation, and there's other good books out there too that kind of give you an overview on what's happening to our youth with social media and with our devices and families and disconnection, dehumanization, bullying, anxiety, especially for our young girls, because that is the major target of these social media companies. I think we can do without it. So, I've had different thoughts. And what the scary part, I guess, is who says when and why are they right? And what does this lead to? Because I hate people telling me what to do. That's my personality issue.
Right.
I've got a major problem with that, And so this is just, I have to get over that side of me and just go, I think the net positive, like you said, Lance, is better to just get rid of them. I think the data is clear. It's not a debate. I think it'll help the culture in schools when that you take that whole piece out. I've actually seen one of the best principals in the state of Kansas that I got to shadow in our school district, who's been very strict with phones because he gets all this. And I think it's more his call than anybody else because he's in the mix every day, living it. He's a great guy. You can trust his instincts. But he's walking the halls, and kids know, right? They know. And one of the only issues he had with the kiddo was because the kid had a cell phone when we walked in the class when he wasn't supposed to. I mean, how many teachers are having that issue time and time again, and they just choose not to fight that fight? Yeah. Now you just lost your classroom because one or two kids broke you. Now you got 15 of them, not following the rules.
Right.
Because you normalize it. So I think taking all that out, it'll help our teachers. It'll help our kids focus on what's going on in the classroom. And I'm for it, man.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the future holds with some of this stuff. Like, as far as, time will tell. We're going to see over the next 5 years whether we do have an increase in test scores, whether there was a net value positive, as you said.
And let's go to extreme case, right? My daughter texts me, Dad, there's a shooter at the school. Guess what this dad's going to do?
Head on up there.
And you know how I'm situated.
Right.
We'll get there quick and ready. How do those cops know
They don't.
who I am and what I'm doing? Times 50 dads like me that could get there quick. What kind of chaos does that cause? And do we really help the situation?
Sadly, no.
You make it worse.
That's you talk to any professional law enforcement officer. Most people don't have a head on them to know when and where to pull back and let law enforcement do their job. And some people in their heads train in their own mind for something like this, hoping it goes down. And you act like you are them. And we are not law enforcement unless you're professional law enforcement. And there's reasons those things are in place. And I really love the team that we have here in Newton right now, and our law enforcement officer and the chief and the sheriff and everything that's happening in our community. You cannot tell me. I was talking to Hall yesterday, chief in Sedgwick. I met with him yesterday morning, and I was just telling him how proud I was of our community and the culture change I've seen over the last 7-8 years. And it's tangible, man.
From leadership down.
1,000%.
I think a lot of it has to do with leadership.
1,000%. So I'm so proud of the guys, that we have serving us every single day, every single night. Even though we might not see them all the time, they're patrolling our neighborhoods. They're out there on the street, helping our citizens out, dealing with problems that we don't have to see, and we don't see not even 1% of them, right?
Right.
But they're doing such a good job keeping the lid on it and loving on people and giving people opportunity, and then taking care of the ones that need taken care of. Yeah. Right. So anyways, I think we're in a real good space in our community, and cell phones, the worst case scenario, those dads out there that say, well, what if my kid has an issue? We have great law enforcement. We got to trust them to do their job.
Right. Yeah. And our faculty, there's a lot there. And I know that oftentimes there are unintended negative consequences that do surface because of things that have been decided, right? There's always a one side versus the other. Not everything is perfect. Not everything will roll out the way that it's supposed to. That's just part of it. And this would bring us into our national topics if you guys want to go there at this point in time. Obviously, we know that anytime there's a military action or people sign up to serve in the military, that they are putting their life on the line. Same with officers. For something that could potentially go wrong, okay? And it is inevitable. Anytime there's a military action or you're dealing with that kind of dangerous environment, someone eventually is going to lose their life, okay? And there have been, since this conflict with Iran has started, some people that have lost their lives. I did read something, and I just want to just talk about this a little bit. So the Department of War, formerly Department of Defense, don't know if one we call the other or whatever the case may be. You hear some say Department of Defense, some say Department of War, but for those that understand, Pete Hegseth, you hear this name a lot, really seems to be out there on Front Street, Mr. Macho, Mr. Okay, and take it however you want to take it with that individual and what they're about and their service record and everything included in all this, okay? But something I thought was kind of interesting was I read the headline, and Pete Hegseth claimed that every family member that he spoke to of the service members that have been killed so far in action, say they want the fight to continue. And I thought, no, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that seems like some propaganda, because you can't tell me that it's 100%, because nothing is all or nothing, right? So you can't tell me that 100% of people who lost their loved one in this situation are 100% against or 100% for what the military is doing and what this administration is doing. There's going to be a flyer. And then it wasn't very long after that parents started speaking up and calling him a bold-faced liar. So I guess my question
wow, there's
becomes,
a shocker.
Well, but my question becomes, in your guys' opinion, okay?
Can we who are we talking about here?
I knew this would trigger Chad.
Yes. But seriously, who are we talking about here? Okay, we're talking about a former television show host who was called a liar on his own program repeatedly.
Now, are you talking about Pete Hegseth, or are you talking
I'm talking about Pete Hegseth.
Okay.
Big shock that the families are coming out and saying, no, that's not the way it went down. Whew. Color me surprised.
But why would you say that? Not you. I'm not asking you. I'm saying, why would it be
because
necessary
one of the things that we have to do if we're going to win a war, we also have to win the propaganda war. Just a simple fact.
But when you come out to be lying and know, and it be like rather like, if we're talking about a propaganda war, I can understand. Hey, we're doing this. We know that not everybody agrees with what we're doing. We believe in what we're doing, and we want the American people behind us. And sadly, in times of war, there are young men and women. There are people, service members, people that we love, people that we care about, our sons, our daughters, our brothers, our cousins, our spouses. People lose their life, and we respect the service that they've contributed, and our heart goes out to all of their family members. We're getting through this as a country. We're choosing to do this as a country, and they didn't die in vain. Why couldn't he have said that instead of coming out and lying about the shit? That's what bothers me, is talk about a propaganda war. You're not benefiting anybody by coming out, lying bold-faced, knowing that somebody's going to come up. We live in this world where it's a gotcha moment, and you find out that, well, you're just full of shit. Andy?
It's a lot of layers there. I don't know why he would have said that, knowing that in today's day and age, you don't say that and get away with it long term. And then there's pockets of media that it's just... So the online world's like the one we're talking in right now, right? It's become CNN and Fox News. In 2015, a lot of these outfits, these small podcasters were bought. And some of them were given $5 million up front and given money, stipends to help fix their studios to be professional grade. And even though it's Officer Tatum... right? He's actually owned and paid by an outfit. Right? So he has a strong salary. He gets bonuses. He looks independent as far as we're concerned, but he's actually pushing a narrative.
Right.
That gets pushed to him because these groups went out and bought smaller outfits to continue to control the narratives.
Yeah.
Right?
Makes sense.
So the left did their thing, the right does their thing, and that's why you're starting to see now less of a open conversation, and you wonder why some of these guys are so hard in their stance and they won't back off even given good information, and you realize, and then you realize, they were bots, right? Okay, so this is what we have going on, and it's just morphed into the next layer of media, right? So what you're getting is most people think, no, my Officer Tatum is legit. He's a private guy. He calls it how he sees it. I like how he thinks. He says everything I like. And now he says everything that I like because he's the one saying it.
Right.
And I'm going to only trust him because he's the one doing all the homework. Because I drive home from work, I'm just going to put him on because he's the only one I can trust. 90% of the people on his channel have no idea he's getting a check from somewhere to say that stuff.
Right.
Because it wasn't like that.
Stay within the lines.
Do you remember reality TV?
It was never reality.
This is for our audience. It actually, the beginnings were
Fake is fake.
It was at the beginning, it was more loose, less controlled, right? And then it started getting to where by the end of it, there's people that were watching that. So you guys, because I see your face, but there's people that were watching it that believed it was real.
Yeah, like it wasn't scripted. Like somebody didn't write the script, and then these reality stars are just, in all reality, an actor.
Yeah.
In playing a role, and it's like, nope, cut, this lighting's perfect, the whole thing.
And
like,
people don't get it though, right?
Alaskan bush people
like
is
the
a good
moon landing,
one.
right?
Yes.
Like the moon landing. You get in the film of a guy coming off on the moon. It's like, well, if he was the first guy to step on the moon, who's filming him?
Now here's the thing. Here's what's mind-boggling to me. Like, what's mind-boggling to me is that I have always, and God's gift, I don't know, but had that type of critical thinking, right? Where I look at that and I'm like, wait a second here.
Something's not right.
Something's not right. This ain't making sense. But how many mass majority of people just take it? How many people that saw that live on television thought, oh my God, there's Neil Armstrong stepping out on the moon, the first man to ever take a step out on the moon, and never once questioned who's holding the camera?
So you get all this stuff, right?
Yes.
And so, but this is for our audience. Yeah, no. Well,
I mean, we put a man on the moon.
Did we, Chad? Did we, Chad? Because I think the Earth is flat, and I don't think we've ever broke the firmament.
We put the dude up there. You don't think we couldn't have automated a camera?
Oh, now Chad's making an argument for it.
So what about the buggy? Who took that up there?
They took it with them.
How's that?
On that little tiny spaceship?
Wow.
They took it with them. Go check out the models down at the
Kansas Cosmos.
When you talk about propaganda, our country's the biggest. We are the goat of propaganda.
Here's the deal.
Yes, we are. Yes,
Here's the
this
deal.
is my whole point, right? Is there's another world that's being created in this world that we're living in right now, and the reason we're doing this is to try our best to share Midwestern thoughts out into the world of things that are happening, because we don't all think the same, right? We all have different opinions, and we all have different friend groups, very different friend groups between us. And you're a media guy. You've been out in the political front for a long time.
Too long.
And I've been out in trying to build businesses and learning and growing that way. And so together we have an interesting vibe, right? And so, but we're not bought and paid for. We do sell ads and stuff at times. And we have a vision that we're building on, and God only knows where that goes. And for all of us, it's not like the biggest priority of our lives, but it's another channel that we can do to support each other and to get information out, because that's our job. We noticed in our community a lack of that, right? In this way. So we're like, hey, well, let's spin it up. Let's do it. So thank you for being a part of this, because you're a big piece of what we do here. But when you look at the hemisphere of manipulation, why Pete did that, not understanding, and there's going to be people that take Brandon, Officer Tatum, who I like most of what he says, but he's legitly, you can tell he's stuck. He took money.
Right.
And there's a bunch of them out there. Megyn Kelly is one of the ones that built her own organization. She had the chops. She had the team in place when she left her corporate job. They came with her. She had enough funds to get it going. She built it up. She's calling the shots on who she takes ads from and who she doesn't. She's the CEO of her own media company. Tucker Carlson's the same way. People try to buy him. People try to do whatever he did his own thing. Now he has his the Tucker Carlson network, right? And it's doing really well. And then you got kind of my loquita, I call her, Candace Owens, right? Boy, she's on one. And but I like her. I don't agree with her all the time, but I'm like, good for her.
Right.
It's about as American as you can get, you know? I know you're not a fan of Tucker, but boy, is he against the war?
Yeah, you know where he stands on. 100%. And in a world...
And is he catching crap for it?
Yeah.
And you see the monsters that are coming in around him? It's like a blueprint of where the money's at.
Yes. Yes. And okay. And we better talk about this too, right? Because I'm just going to say this here. Chad knows where I'm going with this shit already. Okay, so here's the deal. And
Chad wants to come off the top rope.
We want to say this now. Okay, we want to say this now.
I'm ready.
Because the reality is it seems, and I'll just jump right to it. GOP lawmakers introduced a bill to criminalize speaking against the nation state of Israel. So if you in any way, shape, or form have anything negative to say in any way, shape, or form, and they're talking about locking Tucker Carlson up, they're talking about going after Candace Owens, and all of these GOP officials, look at how much money they've gotten from AIPAC. Nope, we just killed our algorithms because we said something anti-Semiticness now. Because if you go and you say AIPAC, oh yeah, I know it's going to happen. I mean, but
any conservative that stands for that stuff is no conservative at all. Because a conservative is supposed to stand for the Constitution.
Not if you got $800,000 a year from AIPAC in your campaign funds. Think about this. If you're a representative and you support AIPAC, then you're going to get $187,000 a year. If you're a senator and you support AIPAC, then they're going to give you $800,000 a year. Our own Kansas senators and representatives.
I know, they're bought and paid for lapdogs.
What people don't realize, and this is why we have a problem here.
Before that.
Yeah, and this is something that most people don't understand, okay, so you're going to get a $250,000 a year salary, okay? Now, when you get, as an elected official, donations to your campaign, then that campaign money can go to pay for your house, pay for your car, pay for your food, pay for your phone, pay for your electronics, pay for your plane ride, pay for your train ride, pay for your boat ride, pay for your thing over here to go to another country somewhere and be indulged there or everywhere, or this little vacation that you're going to take. So that's how these people in Congress compounded on top. I mean, it's
why don't you be like Lindsey Graham and just go to Israel every 2 weeks, no matter what?
Oh, why not? Makes sense.
Why does he have to do that?
The number one supporter of the war with Iran, by the way.
Well, why does he have to do that? And people can see that, right?
What can you do about it? This goes back to the same conversation of we're in this situation.
Question, why does he do it every 2 weeks? What is going on that you have to have an every 2 week meeting over there where you have to go?
Got to get your money
to do that.
Got to get your info.
And then you have your talking points that are so smooth and so confident.
Oh, I quit believing and paying attention to Lindsey Graham a long time ago.
It's sick.
Isn't it wild?
It's wild.
He's like basically a Nancy Pelosi on the other side.
Yeah.
And people are just in his district and in his area, and he gets his talking points, and they know how to cram the media in those sections of what that area is telling him they want. So he'll do a soundbite that makes no sense in a setting where it looks like and they'll take it, clip it, cut it, and they're like, my guy's doing his job, everybody else is not.
Right.
And they're doing that across the board.
Right. Yes, okay, and even then, just speaking of the same things. Ted Cruz, for instance, I watched something where he was at I'm going to call it a town hall, but he was speaking to the members of the public, which many of them don't even do anymore, and it was a pretty rough crowd. I mean, they were all supporters of him, and then he shot back and said, if you don't support the war with Israel, or the war between Israel and Iran and what we're doing to support Israel, then you are an anti-Semitic, and people got pissed. And here's the issue, right? This goes back to this, and disclaimer, I'm not just needling in on AIPAC and Israel, What I am doing is needling in on the interests in which our elected officials are choosing to represent is based upon monies that they're getting from these super PACs and PACs. Fill in the blank. Remove AIPAC, not anti-Semitic. Maybe if it was a Palestinian, then you'd say I'm anti-Muslim. If it was a Ford Motor Company, you'd say I'm anti-Ford. I must be a Chevy guy. Or it's if you're not for us, you're against us mentality, and that's not how this works. I mean, I know I'm getting passionate here, guys, but damn, I mean, that was one of the things towards the end is like, how are you going to tell me that I can or cannot speak against what I believe to be wrong that's going on in my country. I'm not saying go out and do this to somebody. I don't want for anybody to go do anything to anybody else. So if I'm not under the guise, honestly, of going out and advocating that you should do some kind of violence to somebody or that you should hurt somebody because you should not do that, I believe there needs to be a strong line drawn between a person of the Jewish faith and the actions of the Israeli government. And if you cannot speak out towards your own government for their actions or support thereof or against one nation or another, like I don't think we should have ever went and supported Ukraine over the Russian war. I mean, there's a lot there, guys, and I defer because I don't want to take the stage here. But
and at the risk of sounding really angry and bitter to the members of Congress, it's not your kid that's going to get drafted in 2 years. It's mine. Your complacency in this whole thing, you've got blood on your hands. We have American dead. Pete Hegseth, you have blood on your hands. And you know it. And the reason you sat there and lied, I'm going to bring us back. The reason you sat there and lied is you know just as well as I do what was said in the 5th century and then repeated in 1917 by a U.S. senator. The first casualty of war is the truth. You want my kid, you've got some habits to break. And you better offer yours first.
Never gonna happen, Chad.
No.
Never gonna happen.
I know.
Never gonna happen.
It's why my Facebook feed was filled with all of the people worried that they're going to reinstate a draft. Because we all got kids.
Well, and they just raised the age of enlistment, okay, that you could enlist from, I think it was 36
and there's
to now 42.
Not been
that
any...
means they can draft you until you're 42 years old. Just so you're all aware.
Well, if they start snatching Americans off the street to put them in vans and take them to
like
war,
Ukraine
there are going to be some people popping off.
I mean,
as you come get this big boy,
we're all going to be peeling potatoes for our kids to go get signed into a meat grinder. Okay, well, speaking of lying, guys.
The money.
Yeah.
Those Congress people who made a bunch of money overnight when other people don't know what's going on and don't know how to. That's why rules and laws need to be put in place against people like Dan Crenshaw who are playing the game and acting like they're not. That's why he got voted out. He got found out. There's a deeper rooted problem there. And I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, they're all doing it. And at the end of the day, when you have a guy like Donald Trump that's leading, that's refusing to put that on the table, it's just not right. And that's where I don't agree with everything he's doing, and I don't hate everything he's doing, but that part really pisses me off when we're going to war, because I thought we were not going to get involved with other people's business. Mm-hmm. And I was a little excited to see how excited their populace was, knowing that they killed 35,000 of them. But out of 90 million or 85 million people, they should have figured a way to turn within themselves to go take over their own government to fix it if they wanted that.
At some point.
And I don't know why we're having to do that part, other than there's people making money right now. And I thought this administration was not going to meddle in other countries' business.
Right.
You know who's made the most money in the oil market the last 3 weeks?
Not me.
Do you?
I'm going to say Russia.
You get a gold star.
Yeah. Well, actually, Andy and I talked.
Think about that.
And Andy was the one that was talking about that, so I got to get
that. Is so stupid.
I wanted to see what your answer was.
I listened, Andy. I listened. My goodness, I listened. Okay. So let's
We've been lining Russia's pockets with this war.
It makes no sense.
No, it makes no sense.
So we're going to cut off oil from China and Russia. And that was an excuse for making this move on the other side of it, right? To choke out supply. But now we're in a position where our numbers are tanking so bad that we have to go and buy oil from one of the countries we were actually supposed to be choking out. And you think they gave it to us at a discount?
Oh yeah, absolutely. 50% off. 50% off. And where is Russia getting their oil, though? Think about this. They have a relationship with Iran, too. And China has a relationship with Iran for oil. And they also had a relationship with Venezuela. So, what I mean, our government is screwing us all the way. I'm waiting for the FBI agent to show up to my house. Dude, I swear to God, it's going to happen. I already played through my mind. What am I going to say? I have nothing to say.
We're playing 4D chess, guys. You just got to watch the show.
Wait till the cameras go off at my house and all of a sudden it gets quiet. My power goes off. I'll be like, oh shit, they're here for me. Damn it, I told them where I was at. I thought they knew I was at Andy's house.
You said anti-Semitic one too many times.
I did. I swear to God.
Dude, they're tracking your cell phone.
Oh yeah, everything. God, it's unbelievable. Okay. If you get a chance, look at Palantir. Look at Palantir.
Once we have 500,000 viewers, that's when you got to worry.
That's right, because right now I ain't got to worry nothing. Nothing. Nobody listens to this shit show anyway. We're the #1 dumpster fire in Harvey County, I promise you. Okay, so anyway, as we're going on.
At least we're not drunk.
Hey, one of these days, hey, you know what you need to do? You need to put in a category for best paper and podcast, and I bet you, Chad, we'll probably win that. We'll probably win that. Kansas will probably win that, and this will probably win that podcast. So anyway, hey, it is what it is. If you can't see the forest for the trees, don't know what to tell you.
If I control the voting, of course we're going to win.
Well, absolutely.
No, we can rally around it. You can make change happen.
Yes,
just like we can change Congress.
I can get a certificate up here on the wall that says
you want to talk about rigged elections? That will be a rigged election.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Nothing but nothing to see here. You know what I need to do? All I need to do is print a certificate that says, according to HCTalk, HCTalk is the best podcast
the best
in
one
Harvey County.
Is you pay $1,500 for another outlet to do it for you.
Yeah.
So it looks cleaner.
Hey, there we go. That's what I need to do. I see those advertisements coming. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that.
Would you hook us up?
Yeah, Chad. Come on. Feature piece, Chad.
We'll talk on the side. Yeah. We'll pay for that.
Yes. Who's really the biggest dumpster fire?
The bigger the degree, the smarter you are.
That's true. That's what I've been working on. I mean, all I need is another couple.
I walked in this guy's office.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say too much, but he had a thing on his wall about the size of that flag. And it was an education, master's in something or whatever. And I'm going, you're not very smart.
How do I get that kind of certificate?
How the hell did you get that big one? That's like extra smart size.
Right, I know. But I need the extra smart size. I say my master's degree is no bigger than my bachelor's degree certificate. So what the hell is that? I mean, what do I got to do? I want one the size of the damn flag behind Chad.
Hey, if you do that, you're smarter.
That's just true.
Saying. So make your master's degree, blow it up.
That's right. That's what I need to do. I thought I need to do that. I need to go get it printed up. Okay, so
Okoboji University. There you go.
Speaking of lying and propaganda and not telling the truth and not understanding why, let's revisit the Epstein files again, gentlemen.
Do we have to?
Yes, we do, because Trump's Epstein claims and involvement are no longer crystal clear. Okay? So, okay, this is the deal, right?
Now, I'm starting to wonder, though, frankly. So I'm just, for the record, I've thought this was manipulation the whole time. And I thought, they would have thrown it out when Stormy Daniels came out. They were trying to put him in prison legit. Like 34 counts felonies, offer checks that he wrote for Stormy Daniels, but everybody's saying 34 counts of rape, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? People are people. And whatever.
Which I thought that was bullshit, to be real.
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was nuts.
Yeah.
But he won. And then I'm like, better than Kamala for sure, but whoa.
Now.
Where are we at?
Where are we at now?
Where are we at?
Yeah.
Maybe she wouldn't have taken us to war, even though we would have had another 20 million people come in. Whatever, who knows? And then we're already bankrupt, but
Well, but I'm wondering if the same financiers are on both sides.
Oh no, 1,000%.
It's like who's just in control and power.
But now you're getting into this topic
again.
I talked to somebody yesterday that is pretty confident that some of the newer stuff, there's enough in there where they're taking out some names and stuff, where they're associating it with Trump. Is that where you're going with
Well, what it is that it's not that, okay, for instance, it's not that Trump did not notify individuals. He did that. But
kicked him out
he also came out and lied about what he was and wasn't doing. So they're starting to find out that, okay, well, you may have told me 10 things, okay? And 5 of those, yes, I found out them to be true, but 5 of them are not true. Like the fact that you were never on the guy's plane. Yes, you were. Why do you lie about this? It goes back to the Pete Hegseth bullshit. It's the propaganda. It's the why lie. It's the if you've got people sniffing around and there's sharks, right? And there's blood in the water, you're going to find that source of blood. And then you're going to go, wait a second. If we were lying about this, then were we lying about this? At least that's the way my mind works. Once somebody becomes a liar in my book, it's very difficult for me not to question whether or not they're being dishonest. That's the hard part, right? And I'm not saying that, you hear the old adage, well, we all lie. There have been times where I've looked at somebody and said, you look wonderful today when they're not looking the best. You know what I'm saying? I get this, okay? I get this. But
Chad, you look wonderful today.
Chad's over here like, oh my God, it's just all coming down here right now.
I just want to know. No, here.
But why lie?
Temper.
Now, and I want to say this. This is going to blow his lid.
This is what I want to know. Why do you? I'm not pointing directly at you. I'm pointing at you.
I got a front row seat.
Why do you not hold him to the same standard that you hold the guys what I do to?
Because they're my guy.
Because
Chad.
the first time
they're my guy.
The first time, and even if it's just a typo and it's an error, you're gone.
Well, it depends on whether you're their guy or not.
We're labeled, and you're walking away. The first time.
But that's my guy.
But you let this dude tell half-truths and lies almost every day.
And insinuate.
Yeah.
Come on!
Okay, I'm going to go here. Okay.
Insinuation and innuendos,
Yes.
he's really good at that.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. What I'm saying is not what I'm saying, but it's what I'm saying, but it's not what I'm saying, type of thing. Okay, so then let's go here, okay? And this is the propaganda, just this constant onslaught. Okay. When information came out that said Donald Trump blew the whistle, it's like, I've been in the criminal world here, okay? I'm not an idiot, all right? They call it getting down first. Okay. Oftentimes, what happens is
I've watched it happen.
I'm doing the same thing you're doing. Okay, we call it snitching. Okay, here, definition. Lance's definition of snitching. If you're the average everyday person going about your daily life, not committing crimes, not doing things you're not supposed to, and you see something happening that you think or is criminal, and you tell on somebody for it, that's not snitching. Okay, snitching is where Chad and I and Andy are all in the same boat doing the same stuff. Okay, we're all sitting here doing dirt together, whatever that dirt is. In Trump's case, Epstein Island. In many of their cases, Epstein Island. And who knows? Come sue me, Donald Trump. I don't have anything, so it doesn't really matter.
Our opportunity to do our dirt went away when they closed down the press because now we can't print our money anymore.
Right, I know, dude. Now, don't tell anyone. Okay, so anyway, they will be investigated for that. I'm just waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. I had somebody get onto YouTube and say, "Oh, it's a good thing that you don't have anything because Donald Trump would come and sue you," and it's like, sue me? I don't have. What are you gonna sue me for? What have I said that is I have not reported or said anything that I have not read from something else. So if you really got a problem with it,
but we allegedly,
I'm not creating this stuff up out of thin air.
We're just putting allegedly on everything.
Allegedly, yes, just allegedly. That's what
allegedly a bunch of Congress members made a bunch of money last night.
Yeah.
As things moved and the market moved. After hours, allegedly.
It's like if I said something that I read out of the Kansan, and then all of a sudden somebody's like, "Oh, I'm going after you for what was written in the Kansan." And it's like, well, what you said? It's like, well, it was written in. I was just go talk to the Kansan. Don't talk to me.
Good lawyer could wrap both of y'all up.
Right? Yeah, hell yeah! They could get a whole lot of nothing from me. What do you want? You want the clothes off my back? What do you want? Honestly, okay. So
just think about what happened in Marion County when they raided those offices, folks.
Ooh, Chad's payday. Right?
Oh yeah, Chad will get paid.
I love it. Okay, so I guess we'll just brush over this because we do have some other stuff to cover. Which I don't believe just because somebody blew the whistle means somehow or another that they didn't do it. I'm not saying that they did. I'm just saying that it's not the first time somebody's engaged in activity that they shouldn't be engaged in, and then are like, whoa, I know what I'll do. I'll tell the police that this is going on, and therefore then maybe I won't be looked at like I'm doing something I'm not supposed to.
I still don't.
There's a lot there, man.
I honestly, I'm like, I was from 0%, and that's how crazy I was. Now I'm like at 30% possibility.
Right.
And I'm not going to be surprised if it starts going up. And I think we'll find out in 3.5, 4 years.
Well,
Hopefully.
just wait.
Yeah, hey, justice takes time.
Don't focus on anything except
It
for
always
It
what's
ain't going to
going
happen
on in
until
Iran.
the guy's
always
out of
does.
office if his hand was in it.
Right.
And in here, let me give you this
And our
too.
Justice
'cause
Department is
this is
extremely
important
selective.
with that. People be careful. When you say screw it, burn it down, if that's, I get it. And it's cute to say that online, but unless you're really really ready to deal with what that really means in its totality, think about the loved ones, the family. Think about it. Most people in this country have zero clues and have zero prep for that.
Right.
You thought COVID was bad? Imagine COVID with no subsidies.
Yeah, I mean, and people don't have they do not have
In
resources. to get through it.
30 days, murders will be rampant.
Well, 80%
In
of people will be
60
gone.
days, the world is different. In 90 days, the survival of the fittest will kick on.
And imagine what you have to be and who you have to be in order to be the
A
survivor.
guy like me is going to be fine just saying it, but be careful what you ask for. Don't be cute. I get it, but there's a different way to do that. You know, throw out the baby with the bathwater. It sucks. It's hard to know that our country's being run by a bunch of sick bastards that even allow these psyops to go on to get information to leverage us against others, and we're using children to do it. Just to justify that action is sick. But they're doing it.
They're doing it.
And all the countries are
Yeah,
doing it.
'cause guess how
Doesn't
many
make it
people-
right, but I thought America was above that.
And how many people in
And-
the United States, Andy, have been arrested for the Epstein anything at this point in time?
None. And then you look at, right? You look at the CIA in the 80s is the biggest drug dealer in the world.
All the things the CIA
And this
did
is
to
not a
people.
secret. And they justified it, right? With the Contra War and all that, because they thought that was a greater good for our country. So a small group of siloed people, as we talked about, Lance, we have to be careful what we're capable of.
Right.
Because if you're in a silo and you're not listening to your fellow countrymen and women that are next to you, and you start making decisions thinking that your decision is the only way, and you convince yourself of that, people, including myself, are capable of doing crazy things and justifying a lot of pain and hurt because they truly believe, they're believers, right? That was a greater good to just crack out half of freaking the West Coast through Freeway Ricky Ross and the whole deal, right? That was real. Barry Seal, Mena, Arkansas, one of our presidents was the governor of that state as it was happening. You think he didn't know?
He knew.
Everybody loved Reagan. Do you think Reagan didn't know? And then when they popped off Pablo Escobar, he knew too much.
Yeah, maybe he said, I'll uncover what's actually going on here. Okay, so speaking of everything that we've done so far.
Dang,
okay?
we're not getting 0 ratings.
Okay, Joe
At the
Kent.
bottom of the algorithms,
Joe
baby.
Kent.
It's okay.
Joe Kent. American war hero. Cream of the crop. Cream of the crop. Look up Joe Kent. We're just going to say that. Look at who he is. He is everything Pete Hegseth wishes he was. We'll just say that. Okay? 100%. Decided that he was going to have a moral objection in himself with what is going on in our government, the propaganda machine, up to the point when he said, look, I don't agree with this. I'm not going to stand behind this. I'm not going to be a part of this. I want out. Did you guys see? He went from being a war hero to having Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, and all these other wannabes just totally talking trash on the man. Even now, saying that maybe he's responsible for espionage. Right? Like you don't speak out against the government. You don't do that. We're going to get you. We're going to get you if you do that. It doesn't matter whether you lost your wife in service to this country. It doesn't matter whether you lost your wife to terror. You're somehow the enemy's friend now because you don't agree with the propaganda that's being pushed, and where you know in your official capacity Iran is and is not, then all of a sudden you became hated. This is crazy what we're seeing, and I see it every day, and I use the word crazy, but it's unfathomable. It just is unbelievable what we're witnessing. And all I can say is that a part of me believes, like what Andy said when we're going all the way back, it's always been this way, but through technology and instant information and everything being at our fingertips, for the most part, for the moment. Because I'm a firm believer that this brief time in our lives is going to be short-lived, and where, look at Palantir, everything's fixing to change in the way we consume information, what's accurate information, what's not accurate information, how AI affects it, how deepfakes affect it, the laws that are being created without us being able to know what's really going on. Doge, Palantir. Guys, what do you got, man?
Was this it?
Well, we got one more thing.
Okay.
I mean, we can call it. I mean, the Iran war is not going anywhere. The last topic that I had was Iran, will it be quick and painless or a debacle of the century? So we'll talk about Iran next week, guys. But yes.
I see it as a money grab for a select few. And unfortunately, that's just how I'm seeing it now. It's sad. I mean, I didn't think this would happen. It's embarrassing for somebody that just doesn't want our people at war unless we really have to go. And I just don't understand why that had to happen. I know somebody hit us here or something, and you have to go do what you got to do. But,
be careful what you say, and it may happen.
Oh, yeah.
And then what?
Well,
and then
look at the airports, right? Look at the propaganda. Look at the airports. That's all propaganda, and it's at mass scale. And there's some places that aren't that bad, right? Like a buddy of mine just flew to the Denver airport, called me. He's like, bro, I got here ready for whatever, and it's fine. Like, some of what we're seeing is small pocketed, targeted type of people going in, getting their cuts and their reels, and then all of a sudden everything starts getting better.
Panic mode. Yep.
Crazy what's going on.
It's crazy.
And who knows what our president is seeing and not seeing, and getting told and not getting told, and who's around him, and if his heart is right or not. I don't know any of those things. And I'm not believing anymore that we're in the 4D chess mode as I once thought. All the brilliance. I don't think our government's that smart.
No. Everybody up there is in it for themselves.
Sadly.
They're not in it for us.
Son of a gun.
There you go.
But I do know the state of Kansas has some great people serving it. And I'm very blessed to know 3 people in our area that are doing their best. And we can call them, we can talk to them, we can hold them accountable, and we can tell them what we're seeing and hearing so they can take that message, and hopefully, eventually, we can change the tide. Because that's all we can do.
Yeah.
Did you
nothing happening in Washington we can touch.
Right.
Did you catch what the House did this week?
Which one?
Kansas.
But what?
House of Representatives. I'm not gonna say it in a nice way. I'm gonna give you what really happened.
Fair.
There were enough people in the House that finally got so frustrated that they gave Dan Hawkins the finger. And
it was about the okay.
The prescription drug stuff. They forced a vote, and this is a thing that's been kicking around the state house for a couple of years, and he has absolutely stood in the way of. And they finally said, "Nah, we're gonna take this up, and we're gonna do this." And the vote was 104 to 17, and Hawkins was one of the 17.
Ooh.
Our senators did the same thing to Ty Masterson, and it was a 32-8 vote.
Oh.
So this
they
is
were
a
locked
moment
up.
where it's like, good
they-
job, guys.
Where are they locked up at?
Where what?
Ty and Dan. Where are they locked up? What is the real issue causing them to lock up?
I do not know. All I know is
Have to do
that
a property tax thing,
and it came
probably.
when it came to
It's not those two issues. There's something else that's locking them up.
it's yeah. There's
You know what I
something
mean?
else.
Yeah, I bet you it's the property tax thing, but that's just my opinion.
They were
Allegedly.
just standing in that way,
all alleged.
Is
standing
that a
in the
good
way.
word just to keep throwing out there?
We got to do that.
Okay.
It's all inclusive.
It's
It's an umbrella for everything. folks.
Allegedly. The whole podcast is allegedly.
We should just name the podcast
Allegedly in Kansas.
We're the Allegedly podcast. From here on out.
Allegedly KS.com.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. I don't.
Sorry.
Let's. We have ran long, and I knew we were going to run long. I said at the beginning of the program, we tried to get through a lot of stuff as much as possible. Final words, gentlemen.
Love your neighbor. Love your neighbor. I got some great ones. And I've been really trying to focus on keeping my head down, focusing on the things that I can have an effect on, because I'm very disappointed right now. I don't like war. I don't like sending our people to war. I spent some time in a Mennonite college, and I'm so grateful for what I learned in that place with those people. That kind of put seeds in me that are pretty deep now. And war is not acceptable. I'm just it's not acceptable. So I just hate what's going on right now. And just love your neighbor. That's all I can say.
Final word, boy. We've run the gamut.
We've covered
today.
a lot.
We did.
Yeah.
We had to
I'm
make up
exhausted.
for last week.
And I'm exhausted. But final word is that my day, my week, my month got made on Monday night when I got an email from one Rachel Jancy from Heston College. And I followed that up with a text to a friend who I had met because we were both working on projects. And we just decided to bounce some ideas off of each other and do some thinking and whatever else. And that's when my day got truly met, because both of us had scripts accepted into the Heston College Playwriting Festival. This is my first time that I will see something of mine produced in that way. And that's kind of a big deal. And it's a reason to be happy. And so come May 1st and May 2nd, I'm going to be having a full circle moment, because I will be in the Black Box Theater of Heston College watching a 10-minute production written by me. And it's the first production ever written by me to be produced. And I will be in the theater where I participated in my first dramatic production as an actor.
Very cool, Chad.
That's cool.
So my final word is, sometimes the dreams are small, but they come true. And celebrate it when they do. The big ones are going to be out there, and you can keep working for them. But doggone it, go find yourself a small dream and make it come true.
I don't know if I can top that one,
No, it's
but
good.
I'm going to go more academic on my final word. I'm going to be real quick with this, okay? We constantly talk about communication, and Chad and I talked about red herring arguments and stuff, so I just want to give a real quick breakdown. An ad hominem argument, these are fallacies, of course, in communications, attacking the person rather than the argument. Straw man is representing or oversimplifying a position to make it easier to attack. Red herring is introducing irrelevant topic to divert attention from the original issue. False cause or post hoc are assuming that because B came after A caused B. Bandwagon appeal, arguing that because someone or something is popular, it is valid. Either or false dilemma, presenting only two options when more than two exist. Hasty generalization, making a broad claim based on small sample size. Slippery slope, arguing that a small step will inevitably lead to a chain of disastrous events. And appeal to authority, using an unqualified or inappropriate person to validate an argument. Rewind, listen to that again, and think about how people communicate and everything that we talked about today, and find out if maybe one or a few or most or none of those are involved in what you're hearing. Have a good one, everybody.